Think the workers' comp doctor chosen by the insurance company will help you recover? Think again. The real key to winning your case or getting a bigger settlement is choosing your own doctor. But in Florida, that's easier said than done. Stay tuned. What I'm about to reveal could change everything about your workers' compensation claim. In this video, you'll learn my proven strategy for giving you the best chance to choose your own doctor in your Florida workers' compensation case. How's it going? Domenic Celeste, the virtual accident attorney here, and I'm back with another video. For those that don't know, I represent people injured on the job in workers' compensation and due to the fault of another in personal injury all throughout Florida. Now, as usual, before we get started, I have to show you this disclaimer, so just hold tight. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Before we discuss how to get a one-time change of doctor, it's important to know that in Florida, workers' compensation usually has the exclusive right to choose your authorized treating physician, except in one rare situation, which we'll cover in this video. Florida Statute 440.132F states that, upon the written request of the employee, the carrier shall give the employee the opportunity for one change of physician during the course of treatment for any one accident. Upon the granting of a change of physician, the originally authorized physician in the same specialty as the changed physician shall become deauthorized upon the written notification by the employer or carrier. The carrier shall authorize an alternative physician who shall not be professionally affiliated with the previous physician within 5 days after receipt of the request. If the carrier fails to provide a change of physician as requested by the employee may select a physician, and such physician shall be considered authorized if the treatment being provided is compensable and medically necessary. This law can be broken down into parts to help you better understand it. First, you have a right to a one-time change of treating physician in every workers' compensation case. Before using that right, there are some important details you need to know. Your request for a one-time change in doctor must be made in writing, and although the law doesn't specify exactly what the written request should include, court rulings tell us it must be clear and unambiguous. This means that you should clearly state the law, including the statute number, and explicitly request a one-time change of your treating physician. Additionally, you also need to identify who you want to change from, specifically the current doctor and their specialty. Remember, you only get one change per case, not per doctor or specialty. If you have multiple doctors, choose carefully, because once you make the request, the doctor you're switching from will automatically be deauthorized. Next, specify who you want to see as your new doctor. Include the full name, specialty, which should match the doctor you're changing from, address, phone number, and even their website if possible. Including all these details ensures that your request is clear and proper. The new doctor must not be professionally affiliated with your previous doctor, and you should double check this. Look online to see if they work together, share ownership, or even have other business ties. You can do a simple Google search of both doctors' names to verify this. Lastly, you must keep track of the date you send your request and the date work comp responds. Work comp's required to respond within 5 calendar days, and if they don't respond on time, you have a better chance of getting to see your chosen doctor. If they do respond timely, workers' comp has a better chance of getting their choice, but more on that later. The process is pretty straightforward. Write a letter to workers' compensation with all the details I just explained and send it to them. I recommend emailing the request because, under the rules, email delivery is assumed to be received at the time you send it. Some attorneys fax the request, but I've seen cases where the carriers unplug the fax machine at night, causing the request not to go through. Plus, it's harder to confirm if they actually received the fax. In the past, we used to send requests by mail, but with the current postal service delays, I don't trust the letter will arrive on time, which could delay your request. Also, mailing makes it difficult to know exactly when workers' comp received the request to ensure that they respond within the required time frame. Emailing your request ensures you have proof of when it was sent and received, so you know exactly when they need to respond. It's faster, costs nothing, and helps you keep track of everything easily. Now that you know what to include and how to send your request, the next question is, when should you exercise your right to a one-time change of doctor? I usually recommend using this right if my client has been released by their current treating doctor if the current doctor isn't effectively helping with the case, or if my client simply doesn't feel comfortable with the current doctor. However, if the doctor is providing helpful treatment, I'll discuss with my client whether to hold off on making the request for now, so we don't lose any beneficial treatment options. Sometimes, I'll submit a request for a new doctor when we're approaching a settlement. Having a doctor of your choosing can be an advantage, especially if you want to avoid additional costs or delay that comes with hiring an independent medical expert, or IME, to increase the case's value. Generally, I wouldn't use this request if the current treating doctor is recommending treatment and has set work restrictions. But each case is different, and I consider the specific circumstances before making a decision. Typically, workers' compensation has a network of trusted doctors in your local area, built over many years of working relationships. Because of these connections, they usually know exactly which doctors to use and don't need to ask the doctor if they're willing to treat you. They simply just provide a doctor's name. Sometimes they may give the name of a medical facility instead of the specific doctor, which could give you a better chance at getting your preferred doctor because workers' comp has to give an actual doctor's name. However, if workers' comp takes too long to schedule an appointment with a new doctor, even after providing a name on time, you might be able to use your right to select your own doctor. Just because they respond promptly doesn't mean their choice is valid. Always verify that the doctor they specified is the same specialty as your current doctor, isn't professionally affiliated with them, and is within a reasonable distance, usually 50 miles. Never assume that a timely response automatically grants the right to see their chosen doctor. It's important to double check all these factors. If workers' comp does not respond promptly or doesn't provide a valid response, then you're entitled to have your choice in doctor approved. This situation is quite rare. Probably only about 1 in 10 requests usually result in your chosen doctor being authorized. While it's not legally required to include your preferred doctor in your initial request, I always do it because it helps speed up the process. I also recommend choosing a doctor you already have a relationship with if possible. Additionally, I typically contact my chosen doctor beforehand to inform them that I'm requesting workers' comp to authorize them as the one-time change. This helps ensure they're willing to treat my client if they weren't already prepared to accept. When workers' comp approves your choice, I make sure to let the doctor know it's because of my request. This can strengthen and improve my client's case. I don't want the doctor to think that workers' comp selected them without my input. The reason you want to choose your own doctor is that you are more likely to receive greater benefits from your preferred provider than by the doctor selected by workers' comp. I have a separate video explaining whether you can trust your workers' comp doctor, which covers this in more detail. If you're interested, you can click the link above to watch it. In short, doctors chosen by workers' comp often prioritize the interests of the insurance carrier, since they want to continue receiving business from them. On the other hand, your chosen doctor understands they only get authorized if you select them, so they tend to recommend more treatment, advocate for your recovery, and work to increase the overall value of your case, all to your benefit. Now that you understand everything involved in obtaining a one-time change and why securing your chosen doctor is so important, you might wonder, what do I do to give my clients the best chance of success? Besides making sure that the request is clear and unambiguous, sending it by email, and double-checking the timing of the workers' comp's response and its validity, there's one other critical factor I focus on: the timing of the request itself. Remember, workers' comp only has 5 calendar days, not business days, to respond, which includes weekends and holidays. In my experience, adjusters often leave early on Fridays and enjoy a long weekend. When they return to work after a weekend, they're usually overwhelmed with paperwork and tasks. Based on this, I've found that the most effective time to send a request is around 4 p.m. on a Thursday. Sending it at that time ensures that it goes out before 5 p.m., giving workers' comp until the following Tuesday to respond. If the adjuster leaves early on Thursday or is out on Friday or Monday, they have only Tuesday review and respond to the request, since we know they're not working weekends. Sending the request on any other day gives them more time to respond, especially if the weekend falls outside of the 5-day window. So in summary, you have the absolute right to a one-time change of position in your workers' compensation case. But remember, it's only one change per case, not per specialty. The request must be made in writing and be clear and unambiguous. To ensure this, include the statute number. Clearly state that you are requesting a one-time change of position and provide the name, specialty, and contact information of the doctor you want to see. The new doctor must not be professionally affiliated with your current doctor and should be within a reasonable distance from your home, usually 50 miles. Although workers' compensation only needs to provide the doctor's name, always double check that they've responded timely and validly. Securing your chosen doctor can significantly improve your case. Finally, I recommend sending your requests on Thursdays to maximize your chances of getting your preferred doctor approved. And there you have it. Now you know everything about one-time changes and the best strategies to get your preferred doctor approved in your Florida workers' compensation case. If you or someone you know were injured on the job or due to the fault of another, you need to hire an attorney. Give me a call any time of the day or night. I have a 24/7, 365 receptionist. Or better yet, you can just text me, 561-935-3822. But that's it for this video. If you got value out of it, or if you learned something, please hit that like and subscribe button. To learn more, watch my previous video here, or watch a video I've chosen for you here. Again, I'm Domenic Celeste, the virtual accident attorney. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.